At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an easy day download now at easydaybot.com.
Due to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome under the lights of the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. Tonight, the Tier 1 Truck Series takes center stage for 150 laps of short track chaos at the heart of Thunder Valley. This is the second race of the playoffs, and intensity has cranked up. We are tiptoeing now in the round of 12, and the fight for survival is officially on. With stages at lap 38 and 75, drivers will need to balance aggression and strategy in a race where track position is everything, and tempers flare just as fast as the lap times. 12 drivers still have a shot at the championship, but only 8 will move on following next week's action. And tonight's high-banked concrete battlefield could make or break a playoff dream. This race is brought to you by Tier 1 Setup Shop, where performance meets precision. Whether you're building speed or battling the field, Tier 1 has your back, so buckle in. Fire up those engines and get ready for some bumping, banging, and bold moves, because the road to the championship rolls through Bristol, and every point counts in the Tier 1 Truck Series. My name is Zach Woods, and for my buddy in the production booth, Brett Bullard, we welcome you to this Tier 1 studio broadcast of Tier 1 Racing League Truck Series action from Bristol Motor Speedway. We are so excited for what is to come with some of these drivers having already qualified. As mentioned in the opener, qualifying happens fast here because laps happen fast here. You can see there on the ticker, Matthew Erickson getting some damage there, I think, on his qualifying lap. That's why he's got a black flag with a yellow circle in the middle of it. Or perhaps he might have pulled off and went the wrong way. That's just an iRacing thing. That won't affect his starting position for tonight's event. But at the top of the board, you have Dakota Ramsdell taking some momentum early on in the playoffs and capturing the pole tonight with a 14.454 at the top of the leaderboard. But those big old names that you've gotten used to sitting at the top are up there. and we're really excited for what Bristol has to bring to the table. In just a minute or so, we're going to bring up our in-race reporter for the night, which will be last week's popular winner, Dakota Ramsdell, as he takes his momentum that he gathered from last week's competition and finally, right, breaking through, grabbing the win, and advancing into this round of the playoffs. As you can see, we're going to bring the point standings on the board for you to paint the picture of Tier 1 Truck Series playoff action. Dakota finds himself at the top of the board, advancing into the next round, and now our attention turns to the cutoff line as these drivers are trying to battle one another to get into those top 6 positions. It is so tight. Matthew Erickson sitting in 4th, +7 to the cutoff line, and anybody within shouting distance of the cutoff position. Nolan Millens obviously needs a huge day here at Bristol in order to move forward. And actually, looking at the driver entry list, Nolan is not in the field as of this moment. So that might be just a moot point for him moving forward. But we talked about him earlier. Let's now bring him up to the booth. It's Dakota Ramsdell. Zach Woods, got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Man, you don't have to worry about nothing tonight or the next week. You got the win finally at Talladega. But talk to the fans tonight about what it takes to get around this joint, the last great Coliseum.
Being clean, really. You want to be at the front and just keep it under you. These trucks can build pretty loose. And especially if you're sliding all over the place and destroying the tires. So got to keep the tires under us and hope for a clean race, really.
Well, you certainly did that. You got pole for tonight's event. So you're starting off well, you're starting up front. One of the cooler things of this past week was that you were able to share with us a video of family rooting you on from Talladega. What do you think are the chances that you're going to have another Frenzy household rooting you on possibly for a win here at Bristol? Is this a good track for you?
I'll be honest, I've had almost zero luck here at Bristol. I'm not looking for high hopes here tonight. I'm looking just for a clean race and maybe get some points. And I mean, if we wind up, at the front at the end of it, don't think that we're not going to battle and for sure try to win it. But yeah, I mean, it could go either way here, especially a track like this. It's very unpredicting, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Dad, Ronald, who is now crew chief tonight. What does it mean to have the crew chief back up in the box? To my understanding, he wasn't with you last week up in the box. How big of a game changer is that for a track where you got to navigate like pit road entry and things like that?
It's huge, exactly. You hit it right on the head with that. Pit road entry here, especially with dual pit roads, and you're running around here at, an average lap speed of 106 or so. And, I mean, you get discombobulated, and it's like, man, where's my pit entrance? It's good to have somebody sitting back and looking at your damage and telling you, hey, your pit entrance is there, or you got one more corner or something like that. So.
All right, man. Well, we're going to let you go. Good luck, and let's see if you can't make that 2 in a row.
Appreciate it.
That's our in-race reporter, Dakota Ramsdell. He'll be back at the end of each stage tonight. We're excited for the opportunity to talk to last week's winner, and hopefully he makes it 2 in a row here at Bristol. Speaking of the road ahead, let's take a look at your 2025 season schedule for Tier 1 Truck Series action. Of course, it's July 28th, so we're here at Bristol tonight. But next week, to wrap up the round of 12, drivers are finding themselves over at the popular Kansas Speedway, and I'm sure we're going to have some awesome action for you next week. So just know that if you like what you see here on the broadcast, please like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing when it comes to what lies ahead. Ultimately, the championship will be settled amongst 6 drivers as they attack Phoenix, Dover, and Las Vegas to wrap out the rest of the year. Really excited for what lies ahead, not just in this series, but also just in Tier 1 in general, as a special event is coming to Homestead, Miami on August 16th at 8:45 Eastern Time. A special money race is going to happen. The Tier 1 Racing League 200 going to happen over in Miami, presented by Tier 1 Setup Shop. And if you are interested in this money race, we'd love to have you involved, as it is a custom fixed setup, of course, provided by Tier 1 Setup Shop. You can watch it live right here on Tier 1 Studio. And the race control is powered by AMR Paintworks. Excuse me for that. But yeah, AMR Paintworks will be race control for that evening event. Entry fee is $25, and payouts are top 5 drivers get paid, and 2 random finishers will also take home prizes. 43 spots are available. If more than 43 drivers show up, you'll have to qualify your way in. So if you're interested for that special money event, go find Tier 1 on the Discord, and we will get you set up well for that money event. As we transition now out of the warm-up period, we will be greeted with qualifying results. We just got to give it a couple more seconds for it to translate over. Brett, over in production, I tried really, really hard to stretch out that money race segment. There we go. As the Tier 1 Setup Shop coordinator, wizard, czar of all things, Brett Bullard's still pulling strings over there in production for me. Dakota Ramsdell takes the pole with Greg Wood Jr. to his outside in the 67 machine, followed by Eddie Baker and Justin Sumner, and then Jordan Baru rounds out your top 5. Those are really your 5 top drivers of the series this season, just duking it out here through the playoffs. The battle doesn't stop here now that we're at the Great Coliseum. 6th is Jared Hayes. Caleb Collins rolling off 7th. Matt Erickson, a teammate, is starting 8th. Dave Harrington in the 66 9th, with Bill Sleep in 10th. Those 2 drivers race very similarly. I wouldn't be surprised if they wound up both having good finishes tonight, keeping out of trouble. Frank Chavez in the 23 rolls off 11th. Scott Milliken in 12th. Air Blair, which shows up on your screen as Air Blair, will have to contact Blair Roussel in order to get his SDK information changed. Anytime you see Air Blair, just know if you're a fan of Blair Roussel, that's him in the 17 machine. And then David Mayo rolling off 14th, and Thomas Adams will take control of the last spot tonight. Whew, lights are off on the pace truck, and action tonight will come fast and furious from the Great Coliseum. These drivers know that the battle lays before them. In order to snag a playoff spot, that's on the line, and for anyone else who's not in the playoffs, you have the liberty to be playing spoiler tonight. I love playoffs when it comes to these kinds of races, where you have a set field racing for a championship, and then you got drivers that just don't care. They're going to be out there racing for their own shot at glory. And tonight here from Bristol, what a privilege it would be to get a win here at the last Great Coliseum. These drivers are 2x2, getting ready for the green flag. Hopefully our lap counter winds up resetting here, but the pace truck is now making its way off the racetrack. Drivers 2x2 lining up and ready to go, and it will be Greg Wood Jr. and Dakota Ramsdell rolling off here from Bristol. The high line tonight is a huge factor, but you can already see from Greg Wood Jr. The wall doesn't move. It's out there all the time, and so yes, you can roll the top, gain momentum, but you're going to be chewing up tire wear as the run wears on. Those trucks that are patient, wrapping the bottom as much as they can, you get to watch your favorite driver hopefully weave up through the field. Right now, speed is all dictated on the top line as Greg Wood Jr. takes command and is now being hunted down by Justin Sumner. Rolling on the opposite end of the racetrack now. You can see the front two starting to put a gap on the rest of the field. You're wondering where the rest of everybody else is. We had a little bit of a jumble on the restart. There's a pretty big gap between 6th and 7th right now. Caleb Collins finds himself over 3.5 seconds back of the leader right now. That's where the rest of the field's hanging out. But back up front, Justin Sumner looking to take control of tonight's event, trying to chew the bottom line, trying to make sure that he's taking care of his tires early. Greg, very vocal in practice, complaining about not finding speed, and then he winds up qualifying outside of the front row. I think that 67 machine is doing just fine in terms of raw speed, but right now Sumner's just got to be patient. Got to size up your opponent, find his weakness. Battle back here for about the 10th position. This would be stage points on the line. Blair Roussel, Bill Sleep, and Scott Milliken racing in a new livery on that 3 machine. We're so used to saying Scott Milliken in that tops 3 machine, no longer, as he's driving for Tier 1 setup shop, and now we have a battle for the lead as we get to see Justin Sumner move to the inside of Greg Wood, side by side through the first set of corners here at Bristol. Greg up into the fence. Normally I get all excited and really high pitched when drivers get into the wall. I'm going to try really hard to reserve that right tonight because it's pretty commonplace to smack the wall at Bristol. And we're going to be seeing that all night long. Nobody wants to hear me go up a couple octaves for 150 laps. So these drivers maintaining some patience. Look at this awesome drone shot we got going on, and these drivers just throwing haymakers side by side with one another. Typically under these situations, you see the high line prevail. That's what Greg is doing, gaining momentum out of the corner. It's pretty hard to get the power down if you are Justin Sumner in the 94, driving the low line. Got to capitalize on mistakes or capitalize on lap traffic, which that's where the leaders are coming to. And they will eventually meet these two that are racing for the 9th position. Blair Roussel side by side with Matthew Erickson. Erickson sitting in 10th in the Tier 1 setup shop machine. Meanwhile, back up front, Greg Wood Jr. is now slinkied on back to some traffic, mainly because he sees out of his windshield some drivers who are falling on some tough times. You got Dave Harrington -6 from where he started struggling with early pace. David Mayo, we've talked about over the last couple of weeks, has just kind of tiptoed his way back into some sim racing action. If you tuned into last week, you heard how very excited David Mayo was as our in-race reporter. Probably one of the more lively in-race reporters we will ever have here in Tier 1 studio history. He is sitting in 14th right now, hoping that the 08 machine finds some speed, or the 66 might slow down the leader. And he will. Oh my goodness, they split the 66, the 94 in the fence. Harrington tried to give Greg the low line, couldn't get out of his way fast enough. Oh no, Dave Harrington holds on to it, but he's still free falling back, and overall that hurts Justin Sumner the most. He took numerous hits to the outside fence, trying to get around the lap car of Dave Harrington. But that action is so typical for Bristol. It's the lap times go by so quickly here, and the gap between first and last can be quite large because short track racing just simply isn't for everyone. And then you got these guys up front who love it, who thrive on it, who've been good at all different types of racing discipline all season long. Really puts the pressure on some of those guys further on in the back to stay on the lead lap or try to salvage as much as you possibly can. Normally under other situations, we make a bigger deal about something like that, but it's so commonplace. You watch it happen in real life. It happens also here on the sim. What doesn't happen in real life is your car blinking away, which Jordan Barum just did there for a fraction of a second there going down the backstretch that last lap. Hopefully his connection stays stable. At this point, the run, 23 laps in, you gotta be wondering, oh, he gets into, oh my goodness, and the round goes Mayo. Oh, and Sumner gets hard into the back of the 08 machine. I was just taking a drink of water, and it wasn't enough time to even take a swig, as Greg Wood Jr. flies up on the back of David Mayo. And I mean, the speed is just enormous, the difference between the two. Big neck code catches Justin Sumner there. Dave Harrington does a good job to avoid it. I don't think the 66 got any damage. He will be the wave around recipient. But huge implications there for the 4th and 1st place driver. Some big damage there on the right front of the 94 machine. Gentle reminder that stage ends here at lap 38. We're on lap 25 right now. So there's still stage points to play for. The guy who's sitting first right now doesn't really care. He's advanced. Dakota Ramsdale, after his win last week at Talladega, I'm sure getting that stage win would be a huge boost for him. As Sumner makes his way down pit road, Blair Roussel also down pit road. Man, ultimately on pit road because of that incident. Oh man, unfortunate there for Justin Sumner, who was just too far back from the chaos to really diagnose what's going on. When you're in the car here at Bristol going through the corners, I know it might just be as simple as, well, you just look out your windshield and see what's happening in front of you. Well, if they're wrecking off of a corner, you can't really see it. The banking is so steep here, depending on where your point of view lies in your truck. You're not really going to be able to have that advantage of seeing the chaos in front of you. Sumner is out of pit road right now, so looks like he will be able to retain some semblance of track position. Can't really tell if he's on the lead lap right now, but I'm fairly certain he is. I'm only showing David Mayo currently 1 lap down, or currently multiple laps down, I guess I should say. And the field slinky's back up for what will be a really competitive restart between Dakota Ramsdale and Greg Wood Jr. We already saw this battle at the beginning of the race. Ramsdale couldn't make that bottom line work. Let's see if he gets another crack at it. Did he learn something there? Backs up the restart zone and really makes sure he gets a good launch on Greg. Is able to jump to that outside line. Greg all over the back bumper of the 83. It's not really going to work as Ramsdale is able to secure the lead. Now Jordan Baroob looks to be on the attack from the inside. Four trucks under a blanket here to begin this portion of the event. I want to make a quick comment on the driver that's right behind this group. We don't even have to go back to him if we don't want to. You can see him at the top of the screen. That's Thomas Adams, who started last. He's up to 5th already tonight. Biggest mover of the night, plus 10. Battle continues for second place as Baroob making some good hay there on the bottom line. I think the damage to the 67, as well as driving the top line for that whole run, is catching up to him. And this is exactly what Ramsdale wants to see out of his rearview mirror. Side-by-side action here for second place. We're going to keep the battle right here going as Baroob trying to have a valiant effort on the inside. Greg Wood struggling with the handling of that race truck. Hitting the corner right there on entry and through the middle. You got to be careful if you're Eddie Baker. Can't stick that nose in there too deep or you'll upset both the 22 and 67. That's the tricky part about Bristol. You want to be aggressive, but you also have to be patient. You got to let the guy in front of you do the work. Open up the hole for you and then move on through. Especially when you're only on lap 34. I know stage points mean a lot, as now Eddie's going to be digging. Ooh, Greg Wood Jr. trying to defend hard for P3 right now. That 67 truck is hurting. Meanwhile, Dakota Ramsdale has benefited greatly from all this battle as he is well ahead of this group. The battle right here is for third between 4 drivers underneath a blanket. Shout out here to a guy who just pitted, Air Blair, the artist formerly known as Blair Roussel, on fresh tires, looking to gain as much stage points as he can. Now you got to be patient. Now you can't force the issue. If you try to go 3 wide, it doesn't end well. As these drivers battling it out for the third place position. We are on lap 37. Stage will end at the completion of lap 38. Look at how much deeper That 17 goes into the corner. That's the difference of fresh tires. Lap 38 here will end. We will get stage 1 winner, which will be last week's winner, Dakota Ramsdell. Out in front, as the caution waves, Jordan Barub gonna finish P2. Some drivers netting some stage points through that. We'll conclude all the way down to Justin Sumner in 10th. So fresh tires for Sumner gains him a few positions. Congratulations to our stage 1 winner, which was your Talladega winner, Dakota Ramsdell. Drivers making their way down pit road. Strategy there for Blair Roussel, gaining some track position as he chooses not to pit. See all these drivers hit their boxes here at Bristol. Great camera shot for a battle off pit road as Thomas Adams scoots away. I have to apologize to everybody watching right now. I got the bad case of the hiccups that I'm just trying to fend off. Dakota does a good job at fending off the rest of the field there off of pit road. With that said, let's bring up our in-race reporter, Dakota Ramsdell. Dakota, it's Zach up at the booth. You have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Looking pretty good here, buddy. Stage 1 winner. And I know there was some misfortune that happened in front of you in order to make that happen. But very briefly, before we go green, talk to the fans about stage 1.
Fairly easy stage. We got caught up in some lap cars there, but that's to be expected around here. We'll see how it plays out through the night. Hopefully the lap cars are going to kind of get out of the way a little bit better than what they were. But yeah, good race.
How's the tire wear on that big Tex Autoplex machine?
Great. All my tires were still sitting 90s. That was, 38 laps. So it looks good for that final stage if it goes green.
All right. Maybe good long run speed from you. We'll let you go here.
All right. Appreciate it.
In-race reporter Dakota Ramsdell. I want to give you a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, which is probably the shortest one I could read, which is EasyDayBot. Sitting there on Jordan Barub's truck. Stream smarter, chat better, and grow your community with EasyDayBot. This innovative Twitch and Discord chatbot takes interaction to the next level, keeping your audience engaged and connected. Hope Jordan fixes his connection issues. Don't just stream, build a community with EasyDayBot. Don't listen to us talk about it when you can try it right now. It's EasyDayBot, popular on Jordan Barub's truck. Air Blair takes the field, which is Blair Roussel, flanked by our in-race reporter Dakota Ramsdell. This driver's getting ready, and we are underway as the 22 bends his tires. Nobody's worse for wear. The drivers grab lap 44. Slamming the door there is Blair Roussel. Bit of a tire disadvantage, and there goes the 22. There he goes, parked on the exit of the corner. I cannot believe nobody hit him. Great driver avoidance shown by the rest of the field. Let's take a look at how this happened. 22 gets all out of shape here. Shallow entry, just gets loose. Chases it up the track. And Jordan Barub on for a ride. Does he hit the wall? Yes, pretty good. Pretty good damage there to the back end of the 22. But look at everybody. Look at Dave Harrington squeeze up there. Bristol self-cleaning racetrack. Woo! Action comes at you quick here. While we're under yellow, I want to talk to you about the title sponsor of Tier 1 Truck Series, which is Tier 1 Setup Shop. That can be seen on Scott Milliken's truck as well as Matthew Erickson's truck. Racers, it's time to level up. We're proud to introduce Tier 1 Setup Shop, a fresh new name in the iRacing world that's more than just about fast setups. Our mission is simple: help you perform the best on the track and feel supported off of it. At Tier 1, we're not here to drop a setup and disappear. We believe in feedback, collaboration, and community. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just dipping into open sets, your input helps us improve every build. We're launching with competitive setups, with cup, trucks, late models, mods, legends, and more. If you got questions or need adjustments or just want to talk about racing, we're here. Real support, real people, not just transactions. Tier 1 Setup Shop is live now and geared up for iRacing Season 3. Visit Tier 1 Setup Shop and hop into the Discord and join the team, give feedback, or just hang out with fellow racers. That's Tier 1 Setup Shop. You just were able to come out with a bunch of competitive setups this week. Got to see the notification from the Discord. And it's a pretty hopping place over there. So go find out, just like I've done, to see what's going on over at Tier 1 Setup Shop. Against all the odds, Blair Roussel has retained the lead. He had a great restart that last time through. Was able to snag the lead away from Dakota Ramsdell. Let's see if that happens again. Curious to know at the end of stage 2 what lane Dakota prefers. He's had a couple starts from the inside lane, and now this is his second time on the outside. Greg Wood Jr. all over the back bumper of Blair. Let's see if that 17 gets rolling. Slightly older tires up front. We're back underway here from Bristol. Blair's going to wrap the bottom really, really well, but that 67 truck all over him, trying to pave the way here. Look at Eddie Baker flinging the car there into 3 and 4. He gets loose, moves up the racetrack side by side for the lead no more, as Greg Wood Jr. from the inside lane goes to the outside. He captures the lead. Ramsdell defending third off well, with Eddie Baker trying to beat down the door for a podium. This stage ends at lap 75 for these drivers, so certainly they've had to garner some kind of competitive information of how tire wear happens in that first stage. As you can see, a lot of these drivers now hugging the bottom of the racetrack. It's a bit harder of a discipline to do, and on the front end of the run it is slower, but your tires will thank you later. There's a pass here for third. It's looking to shape up between Eddie Baker and Ramsdell. Got a battle here for third. Got a battle back behind him for fifth. Got Caleb Collins side by side with Jared Hayes. These two duking it out right now, trying to mirror the battle up in front of them. Eddie looking to pinch off the corner. He does. He's able to complete that pass. Jared Hayes do the same from the inside line. Ooh, no, he can't. Sideways off the corner, keeps his foot in it. Great save by the driver of the Superflow 46 machine. See, in those situations, I will get a little pitchy. I mean, that's a great save. Eddie Baker now working on Blair Roussel to the inside of the 17 truck. He's on older tires. And now we're at the part of the run where tire wear will show. Dave Harrington on pit road getting serviced. He will go multiple laps down getting serviced on pit road at this moment in time. Back up front. 4 trucks under a blanket. Caleb Collins has made the pass for fifth. He sets his sight on this group. Dakota Ramsdell trying to be patient, trying to move around the 17 truck, but Blair doing a great job of wrapping the bottom line. Caleb Collins trying to fend off another attack from Jared Hayes. Ramsdell makes the pass for third as that 17 truck on older tires now suffering big time. Got a battle back here for the fifth position we saw shape up before with the 46 getting sideways. That's going to bring in the guy who we just saw backwards in the fence, Jordan Baroob, sitting in 7th. He wants to entertain the opportunity of a top 5 run in order right now. 3 trucks under a blanket. Can I hear 4 with Matthew Erickson lurking in the background? Or 4 with all of them catching the 17 truck. Hayes doing an excellent job there of wrapping the bottom. Again, the trick is to get the power underneath you really be able to throttle off the corner. I think he might be able to make the pass here, and he will. Put Jared Hayes to the 5th position. These drivers now duking it out as Barube gets by the 72 truck. Devin Collins now fading at this portion in the run. I'll tell you who's not fading. That's Eddie Baker. They're in the Sullivan Tire Machine, beating down the back bumper of Greg Wood Jr. Remember, the conclusion of this stage will happen at the end of lap 75, so a lot to drive for these drivers who we would think would be sitting pretty in the playoffs, but we talked about at the top of the show, nothing is guaranteed. And especially with Greg being in his position coming into this race, only +1 on the cut line. He needs every point he can get. Nice little battle here, starting to shape up. But if you look out the front windshield of Greg Wood Jr., you can see we're catching some lap traffic. And this is a teammate. This is Thomas Adams up here in the 25 truck. He pitted on lap 54. Or excuse me, he pitted on lap 40. Here goes Baru making his way around Roussel. That's a pass for 4th. Jared Hayes still trying. Still trying to get that 5th place spot. It just changes people every time. Hayes trying to knock down the top 5 run here tonight. The Superflow machine looking really, really tidy there on that bottom line. As Blair is just really suffering right now on old tires. These guys gridlocked as Matthew Erickson just kind of watches in the background and waits for somebody to mess up. Meanwhile, back up front, a lot of potential to mess up as these two are not letting each other go. Eddie Baker now finds himself up in the fence in the middle of the corner and the exit of the corner down the backstretch. Really overdriving that truck, trying to find a way around Greg Wood Jr. for the stage win. Take a look here at 1 and 2. Let's see how each truck responds. I think the 84 is a little bit faster than the 67 at this point in time, but of course at Bristol, getting somebody's one thing. Passing is a whole different story. Nearing the end of the stage, can Greg Wood Jr. hold on for the stage win? It might come down to a mistake. Grab lap 75. It'll be at the completion of this lap as Greg gets into the fence. No worse for wear, going down the backstretch into 3 and 4. High arc, power down, and Greg Wood Jr. is your stage winner. Here during stage 2 of Bristol. Gotta wait for all the top 10 finishers to cross the start-finish line. I believe that'll be Justin Sumner. It will be getting the 10th place position again. So again, not a good points opportunity there seen by Sumner as he's continuing to battle back from early damage. A heavy favorite in this playoff. Not capitalizing tonight here at Bristol. A lot of time left those drivers to make their way down pit road and get ready for a pit stop. Ooh, we got a big jumble on pit road. Got trucks running into each other on pit road. Frank Chavez, I think, stays out. Scott Milliken also stays out. Well, this is an interesting strategy from some of these drivers. 9.7 seconds from Eddie Baker. Tire stop from him. Most of the rest of the field takes 4 and fuel. And Frank wanted to lead a lap, and that's why he stayed out. Finds himself on pit road. Scott Milliken also diving down to pit road. Both drivers seeing an opportunity to gain some bonus points. It does not translate into an advantage for them. Of course, Milliken coming into tonight's event, -10, misses out by 1 spot in order to lead a lap. And that will hand the lead. That'll hand the lead over to Eddie Baker. Trying to get a word in my ear from producer Brett Bullard. Give me 1 second. I don't have access to broadcast chat. So, yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I might as well have interviewed the producer, Brett Bullard. He gave us some great information about Tier 1 Trackside podcast, which is available. That airs every Monday night, or every Monday, excuse me, at 7 a.m. And you can check that out here on the channel as well. Drivers side by side, ready to get going. 4 green flag action, 2 tires is going to be the call there for the driver of the Sullivan Tire Machine. See how it works out there for Eddie Baker as Greg Wood super aggressive here. And that will cost him as he's sideways into the corner, gets into Jordan Barube. I don't know how everybody manages to be okay after all that, but they do. Wow, huge damage there, I assume, to Barube as he gets into the side of the 67 machine. 67, of course, has back-end damage as he backs it up into the fence. Doesn't look too bad, actually. Man, you can hit a driver as fast as that and not get any damage. I'm sure Justin Sumner's wondering, where's my piece of that? As drivers continue to battle here for the lead, Dakota Ramsdell now makes a move to the inside of 2-tire Eddie Baker. And caution is out. Caution is out here at Bristol. My word, everything happened so quickly there on that restart. We were just recovering from that, and then this incident happens. Blair Roussel hard into the outside wall goes Matthew Erickson. 2-car incident will bring out the yellow flag. Oh no! On the travel back through the racetrack, he's going to collect, I believe, that's Frank Chavez. Yeah, they're in the 23 machine. That's unfortunate. Going all the way down the racetrack right there. Frank's not doing anything wrong. I mean, he's trying to get away from all that. As we go back live, I'll give my interview now to our in-race reporter, Dakota Ramsdell. I'm going to try to pick him up here as drivers are on pit road. Dakota, I missed you at stage, but I got you now.
Hey, what's going on?
I got you up here. Crazy restart. And now you have the lead.
Yeah, super crazy restart. I kind of puckered up a little bit there, but yeah, we got back up here.
You got Dad on the box to do all that for you this week, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I assume Eddie took 2 tires there based on the pit road data, and now it's just a matter of driving away. Do you think you have the truck underneath you in order to get that done?
I think so. We got a pretty good shot at it right now.
You had a couple opportunities tonight to restart from the low lane. I wanted to ask you this at stage. And then he had a couple opportunities restarting from the top lane. In terms of your personal preference, where do you want that Big Tex Autoplex truck to restart on, top or bottom?
If I could choose, I would definitely be taking the outside here on the top. You just get a bigger run going down the backstretch, and it carries so much momentum going into 3 and 4. So, but we got to deal with what we got. We just got to get a good jump on them in the restart zone.
All right. Well, we'll make a mental note of that up here in the booth. Good luck for the rest of the night.
Absolutely.
That's Dakota Ramsdell, your in-race reporter for tonight. Trucks are 2x2 now as we get ready to go back to green. And I'm really curious to how Eddie Baker's going to launch off here. Slightly worn 2-tire truck. Just not a great recipe for good restarts. Look at Bill Sleep up there outside of row 3. I told you he'd stay out of trouble. There he is. But will trouble find him on this restart? Barney in the flag stand, and we are back ready to go here from Bristol. A little bit of tire spin from Eddie as Dakota gets going. Little bit of dodging and weaving there for second place. Baroob now gets greedy. He's going to try to get first place as he looks to the inside of Dakota Ramsdell. The Easy Day bot AdminBoxx machine found himself in the wall earlier, now finds himself battling for the lead. Drivers not giving an inch at the Great Coliseum as they go to battle. And it will be Baroob to the front. I love this camera shot. What a great action shot we get from these drivers. Making their way around Bristol. It gives you a sense of how fast the laps really do tick on by. Back here further in the field, we're watching a battle for the 5th position. Caleb Collins has it, and Bill Sleep wants it. Scott Milliken lurking behind him. There's just no time to recover. It's just as soon as you make a mistake, it affects your straightaway, the next set of corners, and the next straightaway. You really have to get up on the wheel and muscle these trucks around this awesome racetrack. Look at Eddie Baker on 2 tires fighting back to the inside here of Ramsdell. I'm impressed that 84 really hasn't fallen off. In fact, he's making a play for second, and he will almost grab it. Thinks about sealing the deal. Thinks better of it as he tries to roll the center for a couple more laps. This is going to bring Greg Wood Jr. from 4th up into the mix. As Eddie Baker gets a little sideways off of 4, he retreats back to the top lane. Greg Wood Jr. now rolling the bottom pretty well, making sure that he's preserving tires. If you're a Matthew Erickson fan, just know Matt is still on pit road due to the caution. Here you can see the Tier 1 Setup Shop 28 machine on pit road. Taking a look now, this is a battle for the 7th position. Thomas Adams has shown some flashes tonight in that 25 machine. I think as far up as 5th place tonight. This is a battle I really didn't expect, at least this far back in the running order tonight. Jared Hayes and Justin Sumner going at it. 2 drivers, a lot of talent, find themselves at the back of the field. Meanwhile, up front, things have calmed down for the most part. Baker trying to fend off Greg Wood Jr. right now. Greg's definitely, I think, now starting to benefit from long run speed, that discipline of hugging that low line, not putting as much heat in those tires, taking care of your right front. He's now doing everything he can. Oh no, and they're sideways, hitting into one another, and this will be a caution as Thomas Adams gets into the back of Bill Sleep as well. Take a look at the instant replay. Greg Wood Jr. on fresher tires, trying to come up off the corner. And 2 drivers fighting for the same piece of real estate on the racetrack. And then Adams just barrel rolls. Oh, Scott Milliken also into the back of the 84. 2 drivers that were having great mid-pack runs. And here, I think this is just the case of Milliken not really knowing where to go. I think Adams might have had the 65, almost missed. Not quite, though. Bill gets the brunt of that damage. Baker, Jr., Sumner, Chavez, Milliken, Erickson, and Adams all find themselves on pit road after this huge incident that takes out a lot of key drivers. sure these drivers are getting repaired up, trying to make their way back out on the racetrack. Problem is, the track's so small, you don't really get a whole lot of time to repair your vehicle on pit road. You almost have to decide, do I want to service the car or do I want to repair it? Greg Wood Jr. is able to beat the pace truck out. I want to talk to you about AdminBoxx, which is on the quarter panel of this 22 machine. AdminBoxx is built by iRacers for iRacers for the use in leagues and hosted races. The goal? To make race control as easy as possible. Each AdminBoxx connects via USB and features pre-programmed commands. No key binding for race control. The AdminBoxx community is made up of over 150 leagues and many members that all have a common mission: to run nice, clean races and to help each other out. Go find an AdminBoxx for your iRacing needs today. Also want to talk to you about THDesigns real quick, as these drivers are side by side with one another. We'll wait on THDesigns. I promise I'll get to you. Title sponsor of the ARCA League. But I did notice the lights are out on the pace truck. I know, Barney, you got that yellow flag in your hand, but I know you. You're going to switch it over soon. These drivers are getting prepared for a restart. Up front, you got Barub there to the inside, and to his outside, to his credit, in the lane he wants, Dakota Ramsdell. Let's see who makes a charge out of this group of drivers as we are back underway here from Bristol. Barub gets a huge jump in the restart zone, is able to pull away by at least a car length and a half going down the backstretch. Throw in Caleb Collins and Jared Hayes into the chat. These two drivers, one we talked about moments ago, was at the back of the field. That's Jared Hayes in the Superflow machine. Milliken, Chavez, Sleep, Sumner, and Adams all on fresh tires back behind these guys. Is this the breath of fresh air that Justin Sumner needs? That 94 truck is beaten, battered, and bruised, and yet still willing that thing, trying to make his way to the front. Fresh tires mean a lot, but that truck is damaged and wounded. Sumner finds his way up to 6th place. Bill Sleep, this is a battle for 7th. Now back up front, you can see the gap. 0.4 of a second between 1st and 2nd. Barub making that high line work out really well for him. We've seen this from Jordan all throughout the year. He's not afraid to hang it out high, wide, and handsome there on that outside lane. And over time, it does rear its ugly head. And you gotta wonder, with the caution falling the way it is, it's not too long of a run between here and the end compared to the first stint of the race. But these drivers pitted on lap 77, still working with some old equipment up front. Eddie Baker and Matt Erickson are still on pit road, getting damage repaired. Greg Wood Jr. finds himself one lap down in the 10th position. Meanwhile, back up front, the gap now 0.3 of a second between 1st and 2nd. Jordan Barub trying to defend off well. The driver who's got all momentum on his side. We talked about last week about how Dakota Ramsdell finally got a win in Tier 1 action after going winless in the Truck Series. As you can see, Thomas Adams diving down to pit road. He pits from the 9th position. But back up front, I think you got a driver who some would argue in the lead might have peaked just a little early. It wasn't too long ago. We talked about the rise of Jordan Barub here in Truck Series action. It was really the showdown between Justin Sumner and Eddie Baker for quite some time, and then there was a gap between them and the rest of the field. And yes, the 83 was hanging around. Yes, the 83 had his chances, but no one was really talking about Jordan Barub. And then a few weeks before the season, the regular season ends, Jordan goes on this crazy hot tear and course, Talladega being the wild card it is, really failed to talk about it a whole lot last week. I know he's my go-to sponsor car, as he's got a few of our league sponsors on it. But some would argue, hey, you peaked a little early. You want to be a Dakota Ramsdell. You want to be that guy that's now peaking in the playoffs. Both of these drivers trying to make sure the rest of the field knows who's really the title favorites when it comes to Tier 1 action. I'm going to go through the field now as these drivers are spread out. We talked a lot here already about Jordan Baruch from Spring, Texas, followed by last week's winner, Dakota Ramsdell. Hometown Paradise. Don't know where that is. Caleb Collins, Canyon, Texas, driving that 72 AW Workshop truck. Fourth, not too far behind him, is Jared Hayes from Omaha, Nebraska. Fifth here, Scott Milliken. Look at the damage on that Tier 1 setup shop machine. That front end all caved in. He's wheeling that 3 machine as well as he can right now. Got a battle here between a lap down car, which is Greg Wood Jr., and Justin Sumner from Twin City, Georgia. Sumner sitting in 6th as he makes that pass on Greg Wood Jr., who's sitting in 9th right now. Frank Chavez actually in 7th on the lead lap. Bill Sleep here in the 65 machine. Grandpa Bill from Owesa, Wisconsin. If you want to know more about Bill Sleep, I just want all of you to know that Trackside podcast that we talked about earlier is going to feature Bill as their first guest on the podcast. Of course, that's Mondays at 7 a.m. Love to have you tune in to Tier 1's own podcast, which talks about all the different leagues that Tier 1 puts on. Get a recap of all of last week's action and a preview of what is to come. Got a really nice battle here between Milliken, Hayes, and Sumner. This is a battle for 4th. As tires are now starting to move their way through the field. Milliken and Sumner pitted on lap 103 and 105 respectively. And as damaged as those trucks are with 20 to go, the fresh tires matter, as the gap is now 1.3 seconds between Baruch and Ramsdell. Baruch doing a really nice job here throughout this run, managing the gap, extending it well. He comes into the night's event +1 from the cutoff line, so he needs a big night tonight. The driver out of Spring, Texas, 18 laps to go here from the Great Coliseum, making sure he would advance to the next round with a win. But with 17 to go, a lot can happen at Bristol. We've talked about it all night tonight. In a blink of an eye, things can change. Greg Wood Jr. still off sequence, lap down. Being followed right now by Frank Chavez, who's actually in the 6th position. Past Jared Hayes for 6th. Nice little rebound there by Frank. We saw him try to miss a crash earlier. And this is a battle for a podium spot with Scott Milliken. With 15 laps to go, has turned up the wick on some fresh tires. And they are starting to matter. As that Tier 1 setup shop machine looking to the inside, trying to roll the corner well, trying to get by Caleb Collins. Now you have trucks that are undamaged on older stuff versus trucks that have seen a thing or two on fresh tires. And man, now we're going to have some great battles here down the stretch as the tires now come into play in spite of the condition of the race trucks. Milliken rolling the corner, trying to get an inside beat there on Collins. Milliken doing a great job right now, just being patient. Caleb, not really one to ride the wall, finds himself driving the middle of the racetrack. And these drivers still continuing to duke it out here with 11 laps to go. But this would be a great run from Milliken, who finds himself 10 off of the cutoff line. Every point matters for him, as well as Caleb Collins. I mean, Caleb's -4 from the cut line. So both these drivers have a lot to play for when it comes for points. As you can tell by the leaderboard, the lead is stretching almost 3 seconds now between first and second. And we're going to have maybe a little bit of drama here for the second place spot, as Dakota Ramsdell finds himself falling slower and slower into the clutches of third and fourth. These two drivers hungry for points, chasing a guy who has locked his way into the playoffs, at least for the next round. Gotta wonder how hard that 83 is gonna battle for a podium spot. Things are about to get real interesting here, at the very least for second. With 6 laps to go, the lead has ballooned to 3.5 seconds between Barub and the rest of the field. Oh, and there's a caution. There's a caution out on the racetrack with 5 laps to go. This changes everything, as caution is out here at Bristol. Greg Wood Jr. looking to the inside of Frank Chavez. These two drivers not on the same lap as Chavez gets into the fence. Comes down across the 67. And this changes everything. You're going to take a look into the marbles. Oh, not a brand new addition to iRacing, but definitely one that throws drivers off. If you get into the marbles, the truck gets all kinds of upset. Chavez pushes the cushion just a little too far. He finds himself now on pit road. Hayes down pit road, Chavez on pit road. Adams from earlier on pit road. Baker and Erickson still repairing required damage. Now, I am personally shocked that Dakota Ramsdell did not pit. I mean, I know there's a number of drivers behind you that you'd have to work around, but seeing as how there's only 8 drivers currently on the lead lap, we don't know. Yep, Frank gets off of pit road, so he is still on the lead lap. So there's only 8 cars on the lead lap right now. This is monumental for the drivers who line up. Well, I wouldn't even say in row 2. I mean, I trust Caleb Collins and his driving ability, but you saw the 72 start to back up there towards the end of that run into the clutches of Scott Milliken, who gets the benefit of the outside lane. This whole race could just drop into the lap of the newest driver of Tier 1 Setup Shop, which would be Scott Milliken. He's on fresher tires. Sumner's on fresher tires. Bill on fresher tires. And then fresher than all 3 of those guys would be Frank Chavez and Jared Hayes. But right now our attention turns to the front row, with Jordan Barub flanked by Dakota Ramsdell. Barub has gotten some excellent restarts out of that EasyDaybot 22 machine. What will happen with 3 laps to go from the last Great Coliseum? These drivers, elbows up, flares, ready to go, and we are underway. Great jump there by Chavez. That's really going to hurt the 3 machine as he falls back, trying to get the run off the corner. And now with 2 laps to go, turning into the final lap presented by Tier 1 Setup Shop, The only question remains, how far can Milliken climb up? Because right now, we are going to see another ticket punched into the playoff hunt. It will be Jordan Baroob getting the win here from Bristol. What a statement here by Jordan. Had a great streak before the playoffs started. Nobody could beat him for quite some time. Seemed like all momentum was on his side for quite a while, and he's gotten a little quiet. Well, now anybody who doubts him has to shut up at least for another round, because the 22 is into the next round of the playoffs. We're going to go side by side here so you don't miss the celebration, get our interviews in order, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an easy day download now at easydaybot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Welcome back to Bristol, as these drivers have finished a 150-lap clash here. And wow, what a race we were able to see with Jordan Baroob, Dakota Ramsdale, and Scott Milliken rounding out your top 3 for tonight's event. We're just going to go through the finishing order before we get to interviews. Caleb Collins finishes 4th with Jared Hayes 5th. Justin Sumner pilots that broken 90 Ford machine to 6th. Bill Sleep 7th, Frank Chavez finishes 8th, and Greg Wood Jr. will be the first car 1 lap down in 9th. Thomas Adams 10th, Eddie Baker 11th, Matthew Erickson getting involved in that earlier incident finishes 12th. Air Blair HRA is the artist formerly known as Blair Roussel. He finishes the 17 machine in 13th. Dave Harrington 14th, and David Mayo 15th. Let's bring up our race winner. Our race winner for tonight will be Jordan Baroob. It's Zach Woods up in the booth. You have a copy?
I do.
Hey, Jordan, you managed to pilot that 22 machine pretty well around this place. Managed to get a win, stamp your ticket into the next round of the playoffs. Talk to the fans out there about your night here at Bristol.
Yeah, on that restart earlier in the race, I I don't know what happened. I just guess I bottomed out and got loose or something, and I think that was when the 94 got in a wreck. But I had to go to the back, and then somehow I just ended back up front, and then yeah, somehow made the pass work on Dakota there on the inside, and I just had to just save my stuff up there.
And I mean, this was not without incident, I think, for most drivers, but it's pretty safe to say you had quite an adventure tonight, being sideways and going up and hitting the wall. And I did want to ask you about that wreck. So you just think the truck really just bottomed out in the corner, because it looked like you were fine most of the night, and it's just that one time where you just seemed to get loose there on the bottom.
Yeah, it seemed like if you took your entry a little bit deep, it was really easy just to lose the back end, and I guess that's just what happened. And maybe with don't remember who was outside of me, that may have just added to it and just lost the air.
You stamp your ticket into the next round of the playoffs, which is the round of the championship 6. So you're going to be able to fight for a championship here in the Truck Series. What does this win do for you, especially for next week at Kansas, trying to build some momentum? But now you kind of get a week off, right, to set your sights on what will be a championship run.
Yeah, you do kind of like get a week off, but it's Kansas, and then I think Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, is
Phoenix,
in that
Dover,
final.
and Vegas. Yep.
Yeah, Vegas is the final race, and with how similar Kansas and Phoenix are, high banked, lot of grip. Definitely would like to get another win next week to build more confidence for Vegas.
Sure. For sure. Do you have any thank you sponsors or shout outs you want to give for the effort tonight? A win here at Bristol, big deal.
Got to give a shout out to EasyDaybot being on the hood of the truck, and also got to give a shout out to Devin for all the race control he's done this season, and shout out to all my friends, family out there watching.
All right, man. Well, you get a win here at the last Great Coliseum. Go and enjoy it.
All right, thank you.
That is Jordan Baroob. And now we're going to turn our attention to our in-race reporter for the night. The reporter curse looked lightly on you and smiled upon you tonight, Dakota. Talk to the fans about that P2 effort.
Yeah, we just ran out of tire there at the end of the race. At the end of that long run, I was kind of hoping that he was going to get up front and burn it up a little bit more than that. And we got that green white checkered there at the end, and I was really wanting to pin him on the bottom, but he just got that good jump on me and came out with a P2. I'm kind of happy with that with Bristol and my history here at this track. So.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about at the top of the show being our in-race reporter for tonight, about how this track hasn't treated you well in the past, but I think it's pretty safe to say somebody told you you'd walk out of here, good points effort, good points day, P2, you're already locked into the next round. Pretty sure you would have taken that going in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'll take a P2 here all day. Huge point snipe for us. You know, we got a stage win and then a P3 in the second stage, so. It's nothing I can't complain about, or I can complain about, you know. So no, it was a good night for us, and we kept it fairly clean. So
yeah, well, there weren't a lot of drivers that could say that tonight, so you're able to take this big run and hopefully carry it into next week. Do you have any thank you sponsors or shout outs you want to give for tonight's P2 run?
I'll shout out all my friends watching at the fire station or on their couch. Shout my wife out for watching the races and cheering me on like she always does, and like y'all seen last week. And you for doing the broadcast, and huge shout out to Big Tex Autoplex. And if y'all need any used cars or anything, I say it every week, you know, get a hold of Chase down there at bigtexautoplex.com, and they can ship all over the nation, and they're very good used clean cars. And tell him I sent you, and he'll work with you for sure. And then Deckmate and Pontoon Stuff for supporting me. So.
Oh, Dakota, you forgot one shout out.
And my crew chief.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta give Dad some love.
Got it. He was putting in some work tonight, man, for sure. He was calling on, who took two and what was going on behind me and who was catching me, especially on that long run there. And he told me 3 and 4 was catching me, and sure enough, I looked at my rear view and they started getting on my bumper, and then, of course, we get that caution. So that was either going to hurt us or make us, and it kind of made us, but didn't make us one more spot. So
yeah. Well, you go and enjoy P2 effort here at Bristol's nothing to stick at. So go and enjoy it.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
That's P2 finisher Dakota Ramsdale. And now we're going to bring the driver with the new paint, the driver with the new sponsor, throwing me off my game. I've been so used to saying the driver of the Three Tops machine. Not anymore. It's Scott Milliken up in the booth. You have a copy?
I got a copy. How are you?
I'm doing well. The 3 truck finishes 3rd tonight, and you were coming with a full head of steam with a new paint job on the truck. Looked really good out there today.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank my sponsor, Tier 1 Setup Shop, for all the great setups. Go to Tier 1. Got to throw the plug in.
Yes.
No, I say, I'm not going to lie. So I've been waiting a long time to get up here and get to talk to you. This is honestly where when I started this whole thing where I've been looking for this moment to be able to get on the podium. I'm not going to lie. I came into this, I qualified 12th. That was a real qualifying lap. I was not feeling it. Once you start getting around, going, trying to feel out these guys' speed and everything, which there's a lot of good drivers out there. I've been learning the heck out of them, all of this stuff they're showing me. So it's been a pretty good ride. And I think, like I said, Tier 1 Roar for coming on board on Millie Racing. It's just exciting. I can't wait for later.
Yeah, man, we've been monitoring the growth of the 3 truck here all year for the Tier 1 Truck Series, and I know the feeling, right? You
Yes,
climb
sir.
your way through the ranks, and you're like, oh man, this is broadcasted. Like I want to get up there. So
Oh, yeah.
big deal for you tonight, getting a podium, setting your
Yes, sir.
sights forward next week for Kansas. What's your expectations for that racetrack?
So Kansas is honestly one of my better tracks where once you feel out the setups and everything, I feel like a lot of these more long run setups that goes into my my repertoire. I'm really good on the long run. So yeah, I think Kansas where we have a really good shot at it. I'm gonna go for a win. I say it's nothing else from there now. All win time.
Absolutely. Well, do you have any thank you sponsors? I know you do, or shout outs you want to give for tonight's P3 effort here at Bristol?
Yeah, we get the 3 truck in 3rd position. I want to thank Tier 1 SetupShop.com and Setup Shop for all the help he's given me. And thank my wife for allowing me to, build this beautiful setup to come out and race with y'all this evening. Got to thank her, otherwise she'll get mad at me. And honestly, one of my biggest fans were my son. He's upstairs watching, and he was just down here celebrating with me, which will be on my my live that I do on my Facebook. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, man. We'll go and enjoy it. A whole family affair.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that is Scott Milliken, the driver of the 3 truck, climbing the mountain, getting that interview here at the end of the show. I did promise at some point through this event to talk about THDesigns, and I got a great way to talk about them because, well, we are going to continue to feature an awesome league that you need to subscribe to the channel to watch, which is the Tier 1's ARCA League, presented by THDesigns. And if you're interested in some more awesome racing across different disciplines, this is a series that you need to be looking into. Looking to take your ride in the next level, whether it's iRacing paint schemes, liveries, or digital graphics, THDesigns has you covered with top-tier attention to detail and creative designs that make you stand out on the track. THDesigns brings your vision to life. Don't settle for the ordinary. Get a custom look that turns heads and wins races. Check them out today and get your car looking as fast as it drives. THDesigns, where champions get their colors. And we would love to have you around for what will be an awesome THDesigns ARCA Series event tomorrow night from Myrtle Beach. And how you get there is simply by hitting that subscribe button here for Tier 1 Studios. We would love to have you get plugged in to all the different types of auto racing that we feature here on the channel. My name is Zach Woods, and for my production buddy up in the booth, Brett Bullard, who makes a lot of stuff happen around here from Bristol Motor Speedway, we want to thank you for your viewership. Thank you for tuning into this awesome race, and we hope to see you again as soon as the cars hit the track real soon.